Hi everyone, welcome to the Beer Garden. We still have 17 more sleeps to the opener of the new Hong Kong racing season, but today we are very happy to have Zach to be our guest today. Joining with me, I'm Shireen, and we will also have Joshua from Australia and Steve from Scotland to be here. So Zach, how are you? Because today we just had the typhoon signal number 8, so no track work today. How do you usually spend a morning like this?
Normally I'd like to try and sleep in if I can, but I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe I knew the typhoon was around. I was awake at sort of 3:30, 4 o'clock. So yeah. I've had a long day already, but we've got a PlayStation here, which I bought during the lockdown, and the kids haven't really had a chance to play it. So I spent all morning setting that up, and it's I'm getting too old for that stuff now. So it's quite a frustrating process.
Yeah, so you still have to wake up early in the morning. So today, Joshua and Steve also prepare some questions for you. So now maybe I pass the time to Steve to ask you some questions.
Yeah, hi Zach. It's nice to speak to you. It's 4 a.m. here in Edinburgh in Scotland. So set the alarm for 10 to 4. So I've had 3 hours sleep. So I feel quite good now. I was watching an interview recently. You said you were sort of riding at 70% strength last season, and you probably only got to about 85 even towards the end. I was thinking, how much rejuvenated do you feel in this short time we've had off, and do you feel like you're close to the sort of fully recovered at the moment?
Yeah, well, that's a tricky answer to give. I had a little bit of a difficult off season. I went to Dubai and then the Maldives with the idea that I was just going to rest and let my body recuperate and take it easy. But unfortunately, when I played golf in Dubai, I put my back out, and I had to see a couple of chiropractors there, which didn't help me and didn't fix the problem. So I got to the Maldives, and they don't believe in chiropractors. So the best I could do there was get a Thai massage and get them to do the stretching, which, it helped, but it didn't fix the problem. So I've gone all off season, with a pretty sore bad back. And I've only just seen my chiropractor yesterday, so I'm sort of feeling a bit better now. But as far as that leg, it feels a bit better. But I'm carrying one other injury, which I won't reveal at the moment. That'll come out in due course. You'll read about that in a couple of weeks. But mentally, I still don't feel like I'm fresh. I felt good when I was on holiday, but I think coming back to Hong Kong and having to go through all the COVID protocols and just the morale in the city is quite low at the moment. So, it's hard to be upbeat, but I'm still looking forward to the start of the new season.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, not only the injury, of course, last season, even Gorge's vitality did his bit in the sort of middle of the season as well. So I would say, and you just mentioned in Dubai, in the Maldives, just to get away from it all, you obviously play golf as well. What do you do in your downtime to kind of escape from the thought of doing horses, etc.?
Yeah, I used this off season just to relax. Obviously, did a lot of swimming, being by the ocean, and had the villas with the pools there as well, and swimming in the pool in Dubai. So there was a lot of swimming, which was good, and aerobically that helped me stay in fairly good shape. I just took it easy, just spent time with the kids riding the bikes and doing all those water sport activities that you can do at those islands. So I did get to take it easy, and I did feel great when I was on a holiday. It was very refreshing to be out of Hong Kong for a period of time. But we're back here now, and I've got to get my head back in the game.
Yeah, Tim Carroll's often suggested, wouldn't it be great if an offer came and you were riding at the Derby or over in Paris Longchamp for the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, which is a fantastic race. Is that something you'd consider if the right offer came along?
Yeah, I've always wanted to compete in those races. I have an interest in racing all around the world, and obviously the bigger races, like you said, like the Derby and the Arc, and we even have the Japan Cup coming up soon as well. They're great races around the world. You got the Breeders' Cup races, all those types of races, Kentucky Derby. I'd love to compete in any of those, but it just comes down to the opportunities. You don't want to go just to make the numbers. It doesn't make sense, and I'm fairly committed to what I have here in Hong Kong. So it's hard to take myself away from what I'm doing here.
Sure. Last question. Now, I've always interested to find out what music people like, and just last, it's a little bit before your time, I guess, generation-wise, but just last month I went down to London to watch Midnight Oil on the fellow countrymen on their final tour, and I got COVID, but I knew that was a risk, but it was worth it. But I just wondered what music you like to listen to.
Yeah, I love the 80s as well myself. And John Farnham's obviously just had a bit of a hiccup. He had that tumour removed from his mouth and part of his jaw. So I don't know if we'll see him sing again. But I think that was a great era. I really do enjoy listening to that type of music. But I listen to a lot of stuff. I listen to dance music, house music, cardio music, workout music. It just depends, what type of frame of mind I'm in at the time. But I do enjoy listening to music. I've always got it on. Here at home and in the earpods when I'm out having a run or a walk or riding the bike, doing what I'm doing. So it's a big part of my life, and I don't just stick to one thing. Like even country, I'll throw country in there from time to time as well. So I'm across everything.
all the different types. Well, thanks very much. You're looking really well, I may say, and looking forward to seeing you in the new season. I hope you get some nice low barriers too.
Yeah, I had a string of really bad barriers there last season. They just seemed to get worse and worse. The more I complained, the worse they got. So they stuck it to me. But, it's a big thing here in Hong Kong. The barriers are so important. They can, you win and lose a lot of races at the barrier draw. So hopefully they can be a little bit kinder to me this season. And I think if I had drawn better in the Derby, I probably would have won that as well. But anyway, it is what it is. It's behind us now.
That's right. Well, fingers crossed for some single digits. Thanks for chatting. Thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah, and Joshua, do you have anything to ask Zach?
Well, I've got plenty. I'll try not to fanboy too much. Pleasure talking with you. And I remember chatting with you in April, and you were telling me about the injuries you were dealing with. And I know you weren't confident on taking out the title at that point. But what was the turning point for you where you thought I could actually win this, and how did you manage those injuries towards the end of the season?
Sure, the injuries become harder and harder to manage. In the last, I'd say, three weeks or month of the season, I got to a point where I wasn't going to be able to continue. So I decided we didn't have a Wednesday meeting at Happy Valley. So I took that week off, and I just found my body did feel a lot better getting off the horse for the week. So then for the 3 remaining weeks left in that season, I was taking 3 or 4 days off track work every week, basically just turning up to ride the odd trial and turning up on race day. And that was the only way I was able to get through to the end of the season. If I didn't do that, I was just in agony. So it was difficult. But at what stage did I feel like I could win it? At no stage, no. I always just kept saying to myself, just stay in the fight. You never know what can happen. He wasn't getting away from me. Casper Founds' stable sort of didn't finish as strong as I thought it would finish, and then John Size stopped putting him on a little bit as well. And I thought those 2 stables were really going to help him through that last part of the season. And when the support wasn't there from them, I seen a little bit of an opportunity, and that's when I thought, okay, I do have some chance, but it was just a matter of getting a little bit more comfortable on the horses. And when I did start taking those mornings off, I was feeling a little bit better when I went to the races. And, it all sort of just come together enough to be able to get over the line.
It all panned out in the end, didn't it? So now I know you're a big Sydney Roosters fan. I'll try not to hold that against you. But when did you find out you loved rugby league, and in particular the Sydney Roosters?
I've always had an interest in rugby league. I think being born in New South Wales, it's a league-dominated state of Australia, and then obviously I spent a bit of time in Southeast Queensland as well, and they love their league as well. So I think the rugby league has always been there. I actually never played rugby league when I was a kid, but I did play AFL. I lived in just out of Mount Gambier, down on the water at a place called Carpenter's Rocks. I spent a couple of years living down there, and that's an AFL area, and I did play AFL as a kid, which you would have seen me fizzing the ball down the Sharting Straight recently. I haven't lost it, but I go for the Swans in the AFL, obviously from Sydney. But prior to that, I did go for the Adelaide Crows back in the Tony Mondra days when he was full forward. I just loved him. He was the gun with the blonde hair, and he was very good. But I switched my my support to the Swans once I moved to Sydney, and I've been behind them ever since.
Very good. I'll look forward to the final season coming up for Sydney, and probably the Roosters as well. So, so which horse or horses are you most looking forward to riding or want to ride this season? And tell me why it's California Spangle.
Yes, well, there you go. He's an exciting horse. I think he's probably the only horse in Hong Kong that's a realistic chance of serving it up to the champ, to Golden 60. We had one go against him at the end of last season in the Champions Mile. And my horse had a long season. He started over 1,200 early in the season with one soft barrier trial. Did a ton of work from a wide gate, fell in a hole, but it was a brave effort. And then he just continued to improve from there. We stepped up in distance, went to the Classic series up to 2,000, and then come back to the mile. So he didn't have the right preparation to be taken on the champ. He was a little bit tired. He had a little bit of a setback going into that run as well. And he did something in that race which he hadn't been doing in his previous races. He really over-raced. He got out, he got on my bit, and I couldn't get him to relax. He charged along, and he wanted to go too fast. Golden 60 drew barrier 1, raced closer that day, of course, ended up on my back, from about the 600-metre mark. So he saved all the ground, had every chance, and still only beat me a length and a half on the line. So I think there was a lot of merit in my horse. I think, with natural improvement from 4 to 5, if he can just harness that enthusiasm that he's got and learn to relax a little bit more, save himself. And if Golden 60 happens to draw out wide and happens to go further back and has to make a long, wide run like he can do sometimes, I'm quite confident that we can give him a good race. So I'm really looking forward to getting on his back this season. And, I've been in the position where you've been on the champ and you're always worried about the younger horses coming through. And now I've got to go and try and take the champ on. So I've got a lot of respect for Golden 60. He's the best horse I think I've probably seen here in Hong Kong. But, I think it's an exciting season for for California Spangle, and I look forward to the challenge.
Just on the side of that question there, is there a little hidden gem? Is there a horse that you really are looking forward to riding outside of that one?
Beauty Joy's the other one. He's a hard horse to assess because he's obviously got the ability, but he does so many things wrong. If he's not over racing and throwing his head around and nearly crossing his legs and bringing himself down and doing all those things wrong, sometimes missing the start, as we seen last time, he just wouldn't go early in the race. He ran his last half mile in 44 seconds or something, I think. In 80, was it? I might be getting numbers wrong, 87 seconds or something. Might have been now. 47 seconds. So he's obviously talented, but I just don't know what I'm going to get from him. If he can put it all together, parcel all his ability up and just get his head in the game, then he's capable of taking that next step as well. But whether he runs in the mile or the 2,000, I'm not sure yet. I think we'll see how he progresses when he gets to the races.
And last question from me. This is your 15th year in Hong Kong, which is immaculate. What else do you want to achieve in Hong Kong, if anything, before you hang him up? Or are you going to head back home to Australia? Or what's your plans? What's your goal for Hong Kong? What do you want to achieve? And what's your plan afterwards?
Yeah, so the goal is always to try and win the premiership again. I come back and try and put myself in that position. As far as achieving things, there's nothing left for me to achieve. I've done it all. It's just copy and paste, really. Just try and do it all over again. Hopefully, I can be a big player on International Day. Try and find a Derby horse. Just get on the back of a couple of nice horses would be good. And then as for the future, well, I'll see how my body feels as I'm getting through the season, and it'll tell me whether I can keep going on or whether it's time to pack it up. But I'll definitely retire from Hong Kong. I can't see myself going back to Australia to ride or to finish my career. I think I'm pretty happy and comfortable with what I've done and where I am. So, yeah, whether it's this season or next season or whenever it is, this will be the end of the line for me.
I love it. Thanks for being reachable during the season last year, and I look forward to seeing you and cheering you home from Australia.
No worries. Thanks for all the support that I get from everyone. I do appreciate it. Hopefully I can continue to do everyone proud.
Yeah, and I also have several questions for you, Zach. You just awarded the most popular jockey last season, so I believe that you may have some crazy fans. Do you remember that any crazy moments that you have encountered?
No, the fans in Hong Kong are pretty respectable. We're around town every day of the week, every week. They see us walking down the street, in the restaurants. Of course, I get pulled up from everyone, wishing me luck, to say hello, to take a photo, all that sort of stuff. But I don't feel threatened in any way. No one's ever sort of made me feel uncomfortable. So they're very good.
Yeah, cool. And I believe you are receiving a lot of DMs every day. So whenever maybe you have some good results on a meeting, will you be a bit looking forward to go back home and check those DMs?
Well, it's a tricky one, right? I obviously appreciate the support, but with social media these days, it gives everyone and anyone an opportunity to send one of those messages, and sometimes it does become quite time consuming. For instance, when I won the championship at the end of last season, it took me 4 days to be able to write back to everyone, and that was solidly just replying back and writing back. So I did receive a lot of messages, and I receive a lot of messages all the time. The worst ones are always on a race morning or a race day, just saying good luck, hope you have a good day, all that sort of stuff, which is nice. I appreciate that, but it does take a little bit of my time away from trying to focus on the meeting, so it can be a little bit frustrating as well.
Yeah, so maybe sometimes when you see some mean tweets or some bad messenger, how will you feel?
I feel sorry for them. If they feel upset, well, it's on them. It doesn't worry me. People they've got their own opinions. They can write and say whatever they want. I've got a thick skin. I've been around long enough to know you just don't pay attention to those idiots.
Yeah, and talking about the new brand that you just established, can you share with us when did you start the idea of doing it, and how was the progress?
Yeah, so it was my wife's idea. She comes up with plenty of ideas, and she just thought it would be a good idea. And so many people have asked me or asked us along the way, why don't we put out a hat or a hoodie or some merchandise or something like that? And there's people always wanting whips and goggles and silks and all that sort of stuff. So it's just an opportunity for someone to grab something if they like what I do and they appreciate me and they want to support me. Well, that's great. And I, already back here in Hong Kong, I've seen a fair few people wearing some of the stuff around town. So it's nice to see them wanting the merchandise to start with, and then also wearing it as well.
Yeah, so if the audience you are watching, if you are interested, you can just find the link in the video's description below. And so that's all for today's interview, for today's chat. Thank you very much for your time, Zach, today. And we wish you all another successful season in the coming.
All right, I look forward to the challenge again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
See you later at the racecourse. Bye.
Ciao.